So Rennie and I moved here in August of 2018. We came from San Antonio, which is the 7th largest city in the United States. We had both just graduated college. We had both just gotten out of the Navy. And being in Mountain Rest was the first time that I've ever been isolated. And I was really depressed and really lonely. It was about 6 months. I had one friend in 6 months. And that one friend and I were walking one day at the track at Mountain Rest Community Club track when we met Jack and Tara, who invited us to missions on Wednesday because they saw Zeph and invited us. So we came. I want to tell you both thank you so much for that, doing what you're supposed to do and inviting people to come and share the Lord. But the relationships that we have formed since then, I'm so thankful for. Now, fast forward to Hillbilly Day of 2019. So almost a year had passed. We'd been coming to church. There's been a lot of relationships formed, and all these great things have happened. But on Hillbilly Day 2019, Zeph, sit down, please.
Sit down.
Zeph paid his money to the Etc. Club to guess how many buttons there were in this jar, and he won. And so Miss Paulette Eberhard, does anybody know her? Miss Paulette? So Miss Paulette called and said that Zeph had won the button, or won the count, and to come collect his prize. Well, his prize were the buttons.
All right.
And what 6-year-old boy doesn't want a jar of buttons?
Hey, I'll show you how to make a sawmill out of it.
So when she was giving him his winnings, I realized, I said to her, I said, y'all are the quilting ladies. And she said, we are. And I said, could I join your club? And she said, sure. Do you know how to sew?
No.
Hush. I said, no, which one do you want to teach me? And she said to just come to the meeting the next week. So I came to the meeting the next week. And she said, we've discussed it, and I'm going to teach you how to sew in 2 4-hour sessions. Can somebody answer that phone? So 2 4-hour sessions ended up being 2 8-hour sessions, but I learned to sew by Miss Eberhard, and that was really an important thing. But we scheduled my first session, my first sewing lesson at the end of August, and at the end of August was when Zeph was going to be going back to school, so I wouldn't be interrupting his summer vacation learning how to sew. Now, 1 week before my very first sewing lesson, I'm driving down to Tuga Ridge, and I hear this voice speak to me, and it says, make Miss Sarah a quilt out of Mac's clothes. And I said, you know, I don't know how to sew, right? But the Lord does not have conversations with you. He just tells you what you're supposed to do. So, anyways, I have my sewing lesson, and it was really good. She did a really good job. But a little while after, a few weeks, I guess, I go to Audrey and I say to Audrey, I said, I know this sounds a little strange, but the Lord told me I'm supposed to make your mama a quilt out of your daddy's clothes, so could I get those? And she was like, no way, Jose, you're a crazy person. You've been sewing 5.5 minutes. You can't have my daddy's clothes. Those are my words, not hers. She was real kind and nice and Baptist about it. She, oh, that's nice of you, she says. Anyways, so it wasn't time for that. Around Christmas that year, I had run into Miss Sarah at the post office, and I had told her, I said, you know, the Lord told me I'm supposed to make you a quilt out of Mac's clothes. And she said, oh, okay, I'm not ready for that. I said, okay, well, how about next week? And that's really kind of how that was. Well, I think I asked her 2 more times over the next couple years, and it wasn't time, and she wasn't ready. And then in October, I had shown her a quilt that I had made, and she said, it's beautiful. And I said, please, Miss Sarah, give me 2 Mac shirts and a pair of pants. And she said, well, I don't know, I'll see if I can get that together. So I wrote it in my Bible, and I decided that day that I was not going to ask her again. And I wrote in my Bible that if I was supposed to make her a quilt, that it would happen. So the next week she brought me 2 Max shirts and a pair of pants. And so Miss Sarah, I want to say thank you for entrusting me with his clothes. And I also want to tell you Merry Christmas.
What are you going to do with those buttons?
Now, making that quilt, I had a lot of scraps, and I have a whole lot more scraps. But I have an ornament for you and your children and your 10 grandchildren from the scraps that were of his shirts.
That's sweet.
Merry Christmas to you. Oh, I didn't need to take your seat.
Is that it?
Sit down, Lindsay.